you must avoid certain places and certain situations if you're on the narrow path, trying to follow God, trying not to give into lustful desires, trying to abstain from sexual immorality. You literally can't go to certain places. I'm going to clarify that this is my personal opinion based off my own experiences. But avoiding most bars and places where you know there's going to be a lot of people wearing revealing things and people who may not represent what you're representing. Because anytime you're experiencing anything, there's an energy transfer and energy, there's some sort of participation from your mind going on. And so if you're in a place where everybody is drunk and kissing each other and dancing in certain ways, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is going to be so much harder to abstain from sexual immorality if you're there, because you're allowing all of those people's energy to seep in your mind. It is, like I said, a transfer every time you're anywhere with any type of people or whatever the case is. So when you're around those types of people, they're subconsciously having an influence on you to where you're thinking, oh man, like all these people are doing it, I might as well do it too. Even if that's not the thought that's going on in your head, it is slowly, the longer you're there, seeping into your mind that you should do this. So what happens is, let's say you're there for an hour, you'll be all right, even though there's some very attractive girls there wearing revealing things. You're looking away, but as the night goes on, if you stay, now your shield is weakening because you've been there for so long. Now the energy was only like 5% in you. Now the energy is like 20% in you. You see the analogy I'm trying to say, where you're around it, you're seeing it the entire night, you're just seeing this all around every single second, that it seeps into you. And now you're like looking at these girls a different way than you were when you first got there. So when you were initially just like, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my own way here, I'm not going to pay too much attention to anything else that's going on, I'm just going to kind of, stay to myself, a switch flips at some point in you where it's in a moment just like this. I've felt it before, where you go from, you know what I mean? You're on the disciplinary wavelength, and it's just, it's like you get snatched up, like literally the devil's snare just snatches you in a second. In a second, you see one girl who looks really good, and you just can't, like, you're immobilized, like in Pokemon, when somebody uses attract and like you're immobilized by love, like you're just like, whoa, because deep down, you want love, and we're human, we want love, but the devil is so good at masking lust with love, that he just completely puts you under a spell. In that moment, if you're there for too long, he puts you under that spell. And at that moment, you're cooked. In Gen Z terminologies, at that moment, it is very hard to try to overcome that and try to stay disciplined in that moment. Another thing that happens is, especially if you're single and you're looking for a God-loving wife, a God-loving girlfriend, the devil is so good at tricking you and trying to convince you that you have to succumb to the level of lustfulness that is in these settings. What I mean by that is, when you're there and you see a girl who's perfectly your type, this has literally happened to me. Satan knows exactly what your type is, exactly the body type, exactly the face, exactly the color hair, exactly whatever it is. He knows exactly what you like. And this literally I'm just saying, like, he knows exactly your type. He will use that exact person that is 100% your type, and he'll be in that setting, but doing the things that you don't like, doing the things where it's like you kind of see and you're like, no, I kind of want to stay away from that, because he's trying to trick you into thinking, maybe the only way I can get the love of my life is by doing the stuff that they're doing right now. Like, just for context, this happened to me. It was, I don't remember when, but I was at one of these places. It was for a birthday, and so, a woman who was just my type, was dressed in. She had the most revealing outfit on in the entire place, and was just, hard to put into words, but you could just tell. I mean, you know what I mean? So I was just like, man, like for a split second, you think like, damn, do I have to like do the things that she's doing in order to get the love of my life? And I'm like, and then you know, obviously you end up realizing through God's word and through different vessels of wisdom that no, obviously not, you don't. But the devil's just trying to trick you. He's trying to turn you to the dark side. Emperor Palpatine is trying to turn you to the dark side. He wants you completely weak, drunk, and a lustful, menacing demon every night, because that's how he can control you. He doesn't want you to be a God-loving, purposeful person who's following the narrow path to actually, you know what I mean, be a better person. He doesn't want that. So he's trying to use your type of woman or man, and almost like a evil clone or something. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's literally using like it's Spy Kids, like an evil clone or something, to try to send them your way and make you think that that's the only way that the person that you really will ever be attracted to will be. But it's not, obviously. So that's why I feel like it's just so important to not put yourself in these situations where you can allow the devil to come in and create confusion. 2 Timothy 2:22. Flee from youthful passions and pursue righteousness. That's the first part of what it says. It says flee. You know, it doesn't say try to stay there and fight it. Obviously fight it when you have to, but it says flee. Like leave, straight up leave, you know? Just don't even put yourself in that position to fail, because it's never worth it. Again, the devil tries to convince you by looking at that girl like, oh man, like you might as well just have sex with her or have sex with him or whatever it is. You might as well just, you know, but no, it's never worth it. Sometimes you got to really read the room and think about like why are these people here? You know, like this guy is here because what? Is he looking for a God-loving wife? You really think so? Maybe. But if we were to be realistic, what are the chances of that? Same the other way around. Let's look at this girl who's in this bar, dancing, drinking. What are the chances realistically that she's looking for a God-loving husband? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just being realistic. What are the actual chances? Like maybe 5% chance she is? I think that's generous. And same with the guy. It's both ways. What are the chances that guy, but you see what I'm trying to say? Like just avoid certain places, because if you're looking for something, like if you're looking for a random analogy, I don't know what this just came out of nowhere. If you're looking for a seashell, are you going to look in the middle of the city? You know what I mean? Like, obviously you're not going to see a seashell on the floor in the middle of the city. It's common sense, you know? You would go to where sand is, to a beachfront or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the first analogy that came to my head, but that's almost the level of you get to, because you got to really understand, like, why are these people here? My opinion would be, I mean, they're just looking for a good time, which nothing is wrong with. That's why these videos are just for people who are on that narrow path that kind of try to avoid those things, because they want to find someone who they can really have a long-term relationship with and both like honor God in the same way. So, like I said, there's nothing wrong with going and having a good time. You know what I mean? To each their own. Everybody, you know what I mean? I don't blame them. But I'm just saying, for somebody who's looking for a God-loving husband or wife, you're not going to find it there. You know, I've heard people say, oh, but if I don't go out, then where am I going to find the love of my life? Matthew 6:33. I think I mentioned this verse 3 videos in a row. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added on to you. Don't go out searching for a partner. God will bring that person to you. Sometimes we try to rely on our own understanding, but we have to rely on God's word. God has the answers. We don't have the answers. I don't. People don't. God does. God has the answers for us. It's written right there in the Bible. But yeah, I mainly just wanted to make this video to let people know, like, you don't have to go to certain places that you don't want to go to find someone, because that's just allowing the devil to play his game with you. It's kind of just walking into the devil's trap. And when you're trying to stay morally pure, it's just not worth it to ever be in those types of settings. But yeah, you'll always know if you should or shouldn't be somewhere. Just let the force guide you. Allow your intuition sent by God to guide you. And